The Samsung Galaxy S7 launched last year was almost the perfect smartphone. It was very well built, had a phenomenal camera, had IP68 water resistance, a crispy Quad HD AMOLED display, and a whole bunch of other very nice stuff. But the overall experience of the phone degraded with time. Battery life went to crap, and it suffered from occasional crashes and hiccups. So what about the S8? Is it the best smartphone right now? For sure. Is it perfect? No. But they're getting really, really close. So welcome to my in-depth Samsung Galaxy S8 review. This particular model I have is the Non-Plus one in Arctic Silver. If you want to know the difference between the S8 Plus and the Non-Plus model, here it is. The S8 Plus is $100 more expensive, it has a bigger but same resolution display, and it's got a 500 mAh bigger battery, that being 3500 mAh over the 3000 found on the normal S8. If the extra $100 you need to pay to get the S8 Plus is worth it or not is up to you. Me personally, I got the Non-Plus model because I wanted to use the phone in just one hand. So with that said, let's take a look at the build. The S8 keeps the glass design of last year, and that's a good thing. It's such a good looking phone. This year, however, the back has a slight curve, making the phone easier to hold and operate in one hand. The glass is supposed to be very durable, and in one way it is, scratch resistance, and in another, not so much, drop resistance. Sammy Loyal, a fellow YouTuber friend, dropped his S8 2 to 3 feet and it cracked. So yeah, I do recommend a screen protector. Another difference from last year is the aluminum trim, which is glossy over last year's matte one. In terms of buttons and I/O, the layout is the same with the power button on the right side and the volume rocker on the left side. However, there is a new port below the volume rocker for Samsung's new voice assistant, Bixby. More on Bixby later. The buttons are made out of metal and have a nice click to them. However, I would have liked if the Bixby button had some kind of pattern on it to help you more easily distinguish between the volume rocker and the Bixby activation button, giving us the ability to remap the button to another application or voice assistant like Google Assistant would also be much appreciated, although it doesn't look like we'll be getting that anytime soon. In terms of ruggedness and overall build quality, I urge you to watch Jerry Rig Everything's video where he tests various different things like scratch and bend resistance. Up top is the SIM and micro SD card and a microphone between two antenna lines. Down below you'll find a much appreciated headphone jack, USB Type-C charging port, a microphone and a speaker, also between the same antenna design as up top. On the back you'll find the flash and the S-Health sensor, next to that is the camera, and next to that is the much controversial fingerprint sensor. In my opinion, the fingerprint sensor location is not an issue on the Non-Plus model, especially if you have a case to help guide your finger. I would imagine it being more of a struggle though on the S8 Plus, as the S8 Plus is a much taller phone. Location aside, the sensor is quick, accurate, and has a few cool features like swipe down to pull down the notification tray. However, that feature has to be enabled within the settings menu. Above the display is a whole plethora of stuff. Most important to notice is the IR light, which aids the iris scanner, the earpiece, and the front-facing camera. Oh, and speaking of display, wow. This is the best smartphone screen, period. Spec-wise, it's a 2960 by 1440 AMOLED display with an 18.5 by 9 aspect ratio. Because it's an AMOLED display, the blacks are black and not gray like on LCDs. The colors are also very vibrant, maybe a bit over the top, but man, it's good looking. If you're not very tech savvy, you might not know what the benefits to AMOLED displays are. So let me tell you. They're thin, which gives the manufacturers more space inside of the phone. They're also more energy efficient, which is the main benefit on smartphones. As mentioned before, the S8 has a rather unusual aspect ratio of 18.5 by 9. This means that the display is taller than the usual 16 by 9 aspect ratio. And that's both a pro and a con. It displays more information in applications of which you scroll a lot, like in social media and web browsing apps. However, when watching video, you'll see some small black bars on the top and bottom of the display. There is a button in supported applications which gets rid of those. It does crop the image though, so it's not perfect. The S8 has an always-on display feature, which I really do like. It lets you view things such as time, date, and notifications all without needing to unlock the phone. Also, because it's an AMOLED display, it doesn't significantly eat into battery life at all. Spec-wise, the new S8 is a beast. It features the all-new Qualcomm Snapdragon 835 SoC in US markets and their own Exynos 8895 internationally. These CPUs are the best out there right now. They're not a whole lot faster than the old Snapdragon 821. The main selling point with them is that they are 25% more energy efficient, which plays a huge role in smartphones. In terms of other specifications, it's featuring 4 gigs of RAM, which is definitely enough, although not as much as on the OnePlus 3T, which has a whopping 6 gigs. The S8 comes in only a 64 gig option, which seems a little bit odd, but thankfully they have kept the microSD card slot for expanding storage. The S8 is also the world's first device to ship with Bluetooth 5.0. Its main feature is streaming the same audio to 2 different speakers at the same time and a longer range. If you're interested in Bluetooth 5.0, watch MKBHD's video on it. The link is down below. If not, tell me in the comments down below, as I might have forgotten to add it. So with all this spec talk, what does it translate to in real life? Well, a heck of a performer. TouchWiz lag is completely gone, which is great to see, and overall the phone is smooth, powerful and very responsive. Thumbs up. Speaking of TouchWiz, which is now renamed to Samsung Experience, let's take a look at its UI, features, speed and also Bixby. Performance-wise, it's fast. They have finally managed to eliminate the lag in Samsung phones. And that's it for performance. The UI has gotten a big purification, so to speak. Now, don't get me wrong, it's still a Samsung skin on top of Android, just not as obnoxious as the old ones. I really like this change, as it's just a lot cleaner. As to Bixby, the voice features do not work yet. Instead, we just get this cards overview, very similar to Google Now, which I guess is kind of useful, but I've actually never gotten to using it. I'll make a Bixby review as soon as the voice assistant works though. Features. There is a bunch. So let's try to go over some of the cool ones as quick as we can. Alright, the app jar can now be accessed by swiping up or down on the home screen. The notification tray can be pulled down via a swipe on the fingerprint sensor. This has to be enabled within the settings. You can have multiple apps open at the same time by going to recent apps and clicking this button. You'll then get to choose which other app you want to use, and then you're done. The back and recent apps buttons can now be swapped. You can change the background color of those buttons. There is a secure folder, which is like another installation of Android. You can install specific apps, store photos, videos, and other files that do not appear outside of the folder. There's a performance mode, which increases the maximum screen brightness by 10%. The home button, or should I say area, on the screen is a lot like Apple's Force Touch home button. It senses you pressing it and gives you a nice vibration, which feels a lot like a normal click. The home button can be pressed even though it's not displayed. Double-click the power button to open the camera. If you purchase the Dex Station, your phone can transform into a desktop computer. Those were just some of the features found on the S8. There is a lot more. If you're interested in a video showcasing them all, let me know in the comment section down below, and while you're at it, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. The phone keeps last year's IP68 water resistance rating. This rating means that the S8 can be submerged in down to 1.5 meters of water for up to 30 minutes. I would see this as a good sense of security that lets you use your phone near water without having to worry about it. It's great to see them still packing the same rating, even though the phone is crammed with all that tech, including the headphone jack. Camera-wise, the S8 has a very similar sensor to last year's S7, which had arguably the best camera of last year, only beaten by the Google Pixel. This year, Samsung includes similar software optimization of which the Pixel uses, which does render the S8's camera one of the best, if not the best camera on a smartphone right now. So with that said, let's take a look at some pictures taken on the S8 in auto mode and with no editing applied. The S8 also has a much higher quality front-facing camera, so let's take a look at some pictures taken on that as well. The aforementioned 3000 mAh battery might seem too small for such a powerful device, but actually It's been lasting very well for me. If you watched my 5 pros and cons video of the S8, I said that the battery life was average, but for some reason it has actually gotten a lot better. It gets through a day of use with around 25 to 45% left. That's with the brightness set to auto mode and the screen set to its native 2960 by 1440 resolution. As to charging the phone, it's done via the USB Type-C port and takes about 1 hour and 15 minutes. Not as fast as on the OnePlus 3T's Dash charge, but it's still quick enough. The sole speaker on the S8 is bad. It's easy to muffle when watching videos, and it doesn't get very loud nor sound good. The most optimal speaker system would obviously be dual front-facing speakers. However, that is not a very Samsung-y thing to implement. So we're just going to have to live with the single speaker this year as well. A feature which came right off the exploding Note 7 on the S8 is the iris scanner. This is some next level stuff. It's quick and very accurate as long as you hold the phone correctly, which is learned with use. And yes, it works at night. In my personal usage, the iris scanner is a backup. I mostly use the fingerprint sensor, but when my hands are wet or dirty, I use the iris scanner. It's a feature I expect to see, or at least want to see, in many flagship phones moving forward. Samsung advertises AKG-tuned headphones included in the box, and they're supposed to be worth $100. They have got a nice high quality feel to them, and to be honest, I could see these things in stores for $100. So, the S8. Has Samsung nailed it? They sure have. It's an all-around beast of a smartphone. It looks gorgeous, it's powerful and responsive, the UI is much improved, the screen is just the best there is, the camera is up to par with the Google Pixel, if not even better, and it packs a whole plethora of new features such as the iris scanner. So there you guys go. That was my review of the Samsung Galaxy S8. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Please do leave a like on this video or dislike if you didn't like it, and if so, tell me down below why. And also, please feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.